What's good, YouTube? It's your boy BeastModeSteven here, aka Hashtag the Kid from Miami, and I'm back with another lit, yes sir, lit topic, y'all. Welcome back, y'all, to episode 45, y'all. Give it up, y'all. Let's go, y'all. Wow, y'all. I miss y'all. And you know what's even more beautiful, y'all? This is the second last Friday of the year, y'all. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. You know, we got one more Friday left before the year is completely over, 2025. Wow, y'all. There's really a lot to reflect. There's really a lot to give God thanks for, y'all. And there's really a lot to really reflect for the new year, y'all. Because I'm blinking. I'm just like, yo, this year's already over? What? That is so crazy, y'all. You feel me, y'all? But I appreciate y'all to tune in to Friday Night Topics, y'all. Really hope you had a chance to check out episode 44, which was last Friday, y'all. If you have not yet and you feel like you're behind, y'all, don't worry, y'all. I got y'all. Everything's all in the description down below. You feel me, y'all? And definitely, if you're a new, watcher, hit that subscribe button. And definitely, if y'all really feeling, this new topic that I have, y'all, as y'all see by the title, my past relationship, the one thing that it taught me, y'all. And it's really one of those juicy topics and surprise topics because as this entire year, y'all, I really had the time to reflect. And really, it's like one of those things that it was really on my heart to really wrap up the year. So I said, you know what? Since it's on the plate, y'all, let's talk about it. You feel me? But if you really like this topic, y'all, hit that like button. Comment down below what's your favorite part of this, amazing episode. You feel me, y'all? If you really enjoyed the last episode, y'all, comment down below what was your favorite part if you've seen it, y'all. You feel me, y'all? Most and definitely, y'all, I did not forget. Y'all know what time it is this weekend, y'all. Tomorrow, Miami Hurricanes is definitely facing Texas A&M, and it's going to be one of those games, y'all. So y'all already know I gotta rep my city, rep my team, you feel me, y'all, and hopefully we come up with a dub, y'all, because I know this entire season's been amazing, and we've been catching dubs, y'all, and, we got root, for those Miami, Hurricanes, you feel me, y'all, if you're a fan, y'all. But if you're a fan of another team, y'all, it's all right. It's all right. I'm not going to throw any shades at y'all. You feel me, y'all? But, let's get into this amazing topic, y'all. And I'm so glad that you guys had the opportunity and chance to tune in with me at 9 p.m. Because it's Friday. We could be doing so much things, y'all. We can do so much things, y'all. But y'all already know I put my priorities first and put y'all first by doing these amazing lit topics, y'all. So let's get right into it, y'all. And I appreciate y'all. Let's go. So, every relationship I've ever had, y'all, it taught me the same lesson, but in a different package. You feel me, y'all? And that's really how I'm going to start things off. Because I realized, in a relationship, like, comment down below, y'all, like, what y'all think, like, after how many months, when do you think you can count a relationship? Would y'all say it's when you guys make things official, or would y'all say when certain months and years pass by? Because a lot of people be like into relationships, then they're like, yo, if things break off after a month or two, they'd be like, yo, I don't really count that as a relationship, so I really want to hear from y'all in the comments down below. When do you think a relationship really counts as an official? And I said this in my last episode 44, y'all, and I mentioned, don't allow intimacy be the heartbeat of something that was never meant to be. And I said this last episode, and I gave y'all a heads up on that, so I kind of really, spilled the surprise a bit. And when I look deeper into that, you gotta reflect the patterns. You gotta look at the red flags. You gotta look at what was really holding you, in that relationship. You gotta really, realize, all these little things. And that's what I'm gonna break down to you. I'm not going to get into deep details because at the end of the day, no person's a bad person. At the end of the day, everybody's got their own struggles. Everybody's got their own lessons that they got to learn. And people just grow and part ways because what that is? That is life. You live and you learn. If I have to be real with myself, when I look at my past relationships, they all had something special. They all held something special. But they definitely taught me something, that most valuable thing. And it really taught me, you know, even though you leave something, you know, it's easy to leave when you know it's not for you, when you know it doesn't feel right for you. You know, don't just wait to make mistakes. Don't just wait for the other person to make mistakes, and don't just like rely on intimacy to hold things together. Because don't get me wrong, when the energy's right out, there's a lot of people don't want to leave. There's a lot of people don't want to be like, yeah, look the other way and be like, damn, maybe that thing is for me, you know? And, you know, a lot of people be like, intimacy, they allow it to be the heartbeat because they're like, yo, if that's moving correctly, then I don't need to leave. I feel like we could fix this. We could fix our communication. We can fix, you know, our problem solving. We can fix our financial problems. We can fix, you know, little, you know, past histories that's just popping up everywhere. And, you know, when you think about it, you're like, damn, because our intimacy is good, you know, I don't ever want to leave this relationship. The one thing that it really does to you, it really destroys you, like physically and mentally, emotionally, you know, and all these little things, because you realize, damn, this is really the one thing that's really holding this relationship, you know. Because everything, you know, everybody, like at a certain point in life, when you get a certain age, you're always gonna hate this talking stage. You're always gonna hate, you know, doing all these little things just to get the right person, y'all. And I can't tell you how it feels like an interview. You feel me, y'all? When you got to literally, you know, meet one person, do the talking stage, you realize, damn, that ain't working out. Then you gotta give your time. You like sometimes you gotta give yourself time, you know, and just realize, damn, think about it as a job and think about like, why didn't things go how it's supposed to? You know, because I know a lot of people, you know, live in a way where they're just like, damn, like I'm gonna live life to a point because I got success on my back, I got support on my back, and that confidence that you got, you know, because a lot of times there's certain people, especially like myself, y'all, because failure hits me and because curveballs come my way, you know, I don't take that as a way to keep my head down. I literally take that as a way to keep moving forward, but also learning, you know, from those mistakes and lessons and realizing, damn, like, I gotta make changes, you know? A lot of times we gotta make changes because every year, the year is always changing quickly. And if we don't really take the time to sit down and realize, damn, what do I gotta change? What is that one lesson that it taught me this year? If it wasn't relationships, if it wasn't work, if it wasn't goals, if it wasn't, you know, failures that hit you this year, you know? And when I look back at my past relationships and that one thing that it taught me, it just made me a better person, y'all. It really made me a better person because I really took the time to really reflect. I really took the time to realize that life is going to come this way. But if you sit down, you can only decide how far you want to go. You can only decide yourself if you're going to allow that one lesson to drag you down so deeply to the bottom where you're like, you don't feel like getting back up or reaching back to the top. Only you. Only you. And if you need that, you know, energy, that spiritual support, if you're religious in a way, you obviously know that God's always by your side now. You obviously know that God's never going to leave your side no matter what it is, if you just call his name and believe in him. You know, believe in what he's done, not just for me, but what he's done for you. You feel me? You can never forget that, especially with the year wrapping up. Only 1 week left, y'all. And there's a reason why I really want to talk about this topic, because I feel like after I talk about this topic, it feels like we're fresher because there's so many things that God really gave me in life that I can't really just say to myself, damn, how can I not see myself as a blessed man? How can I not give God thanks because he allowed me to open my eyes to learn this one lesson and now allow it to take control of me in a way, you feel me? Because at the end, it's like there's so much more to a relationship than just allowing this one lesson to really take control of you in a way. There's going to be so much ups and downs. There's going to be so much disagreements. There's going to be so much confusion. But if you don't give up and you go with the sources that you created over time throughout the years and lessons that you learn, you realize, damn, you're not at the bottom. You realize, damn, I could do this without giving up. Because I always said to myself, even though I learned these lessons, y'all, especially that one lesson, I always said to myself, giving up wasn't an option. But when I realized that I allowed this one lesson that I learned to be my option of staying in something that I didn't feel happy in, I realized it taught me something. And I had to learn that lesson of being alone. Being alone taught me that one lesson. Lessons aren't here to damage us. It's here to change our ways of viewing life, y'all. And whether we want to learn from them or not, that's totally up to us as people. We learn a lot of lessons throughout the day, and a lot of times if you catch them, you catch them. If you don't, then at the end of the day, that's something you got to work on. But we are taught lessons each and every day. So when I touch upon, dating the same type with different names and ignoring the early red flags because of potential, I really look back and reflect and see names will be different. But the energy and the one lesson that I learned was always the same. So when you really look deeply into that, you will find yourself starting a new chapter. You will find yourself achieving new goals. But one thing that you realize is if you're in a relationship that reminds you of that one lesson that you're trying to avoid, that one lesson that you're trying to run from, you shouldn't stay in it because you feel like, damn, you can continue battling this one lesson that you've been trying to battle for so long, and you realize you can't end up winning. But the only way to end up winning it is by leaving what you got yourself into. And that's how I seen it in a way, because it's like once you learn this one lesson, the only way you're going to learn this one lesson is how you're applying it to communication, how you're applying it to your actions, in life, because the only way you can only realize if you're actually applying and learning from that mistaken lesson is when your actions and your communication speak it. Dating the same type and different names, everybody's influenced by something. You can't just wake up and say you're not influenced by something, Like, for example, people who are influenced by Birkin bags, you feel me? Say you get into a little argument and then the man's like, you know what, I don't want to leave this relationship. Why? What's the real reason? After all the arguments, after all the disagreements, calling you out your name, low blows, like KOs, and you realize, damn, what's really holding this relationship together? And you look at it and you're like, the intimacy. Oh yeah, the intimacy. Whoo! It is so sweet, I can't let it go. Why? Because I feel like if I let it go, I can't move on with life. I feel like if I let it go, damn, I'm probably ain't gonna find anything else better than this, So it'd be holding you so tight to the point where it's just like, damn, let me go get that Birkin bag for her. Let me go get that Lambo. Let me go drop 20 bands on her just so I don't leave her. So, and I'm not just speaking just on the man's point of view inside, but let's talk about the woman's point of view society. Damn, he plays for this team. Damn, he's making this much. Damn, but I'm never ever gonna find a dude that's so high, so tall, 7 feet, 8 feet. Oh, I'm never gonna, find a man that's strong, that's built like him. Nice skin tone, nice teeth. Whoo! But then you gotta realize it is intimacy that is holding the relationship. You're allowing it to be this heartbeat. And then soon enough, you're gonna realize in your mind, what am I doing? Why am I destroying myself emotionally, physically? What am I doing? Why would I allow this one thing that I know is not my strength in a relationship? When I know communication is important to me. When I know loyalty is important to me. When I know A person who's hardworking is important to me. A person who keeps their words is important to me. A person who puts the relationship first is important to me. But I look back and I think, damn, I'm gonna allow intimacy to hold this relationship together. And just because the other things aren't working, like us not praying at night, like us not being able to go to church together, like us not being able to talk about God and the great things that He's done for us in our lives, I'm just gonna allow intimacy to hold us together. Why would I do this to myself? Why would you do this to yourself? When you really look at the bigger picture here. When I look at a relationship, I feel like it's like an entire car. If the engine is not functioning, the relationship is dead. If the car doesn't have no gas, the relationship is dead. Unless you're going to push that car 100 miles to the next city just to get gas. If you really care about your relationship in that form of way, you going to push that car where you don't got no phone service, when all these other cars are passing you by the highway and you're trying to get some gas because you forgot to, get one of those, one of those extra fuel buckets, the thing that you put in the back of your trunk when you run out of gas, and you just stop at the gas station, you just fill it up in those container thingies. So when I look at, all these important things and that one lesson that it taught me from my past relationship, I said, if I'm going to allow intimacy be the heartbeat of a relationship and not matter about the other things, I must be delusional. You can't confuse chemistry with capability because patterns don't lie. They're actually a performance review. For example, if you're the type that says, and I'm not saying that people don't try. People do try and realize that it's just not for them. For example, if you know for a fact that in your relationship, your person likes a person who cooks, but all of a sudden you realize, damn, air fryer is available. Let me go down and get me an air fryer. Let me go order me an air fryer online because I don't have to do the original cooking. It's just a boop, 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 beep, 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 beep. There it is. It's done. Here you go, honey. So when you look at, confusing, chemistry and capability, and you're just looking at the performance, look at it as a review that's telling you something. I believe that a person can try, but I also am able to walk away when I know that this person doesn't want to try because they don't care about the relationship. Trying is one thing, but you putting trying aside and saying that it's not for you is obviously a sign. And I'm supposed to sit there and be like, let me allow intimacy to hold us together. You gotta know when it's okay to walk away. Don't just wait to walk away when you realize intimacy is not working no more. Life doesn't throw you curveballs because it's trying to, sink you. It's throwing you curveballs because it's trying to teach you something that you keep missing. Those curveballs keep hitting you and hitting you and hitting you. It's going to continue to hit you because you have not learned how to hit those curveballs out of the park. Like when you think about love, y'all, it leads to effort, it leads to pain, and most definitely leads to sacrifices. Because if I had to look back on intimacy and the one lesson that it taught me, of it being a heartbeat in a relationship, it led to more pain than me seeing effort and sacrifices. Because it's like, I can't say that, I don't wake up knowing that I'm not knowing what I'm going to get myself into. But it's like, one day we'll be like, we don't allow appearances to influence us on our decision. We don't allow intimacy to influence us on our decision. But a lot of times we always want to act blindsided in a way where we're actually allowing those things to influence us and allow us to think, oh, because we're staying in this relationship, the intimacy is going to continue to, hold us together and be the heartbeat. But one day it's slowly going to die because you realize, damn, I'm getting tired of all this energy wasting, all this pretending, all this, thinking there's a potential because I'm allowing this one thing to continue to hold us together when really it's just going to destroy you mentally, physically, emotionally, y'all. And definitely spiritually. You look at people who are successful, when you look at people who are, achieving their goals in life, you realize, damn. And you look at it in a way where it's just like, damn, why aren't they allowing intimacy to be the heartbeat of the relationship? Why is it if they know when a problem occurs, they're easy to walk away? And you realize, damn, maybe they really taught themselves a lot of things because maybe they were in a position, in life where they realized, I got to achieve my goals because I know if I achieve my goals, I would never allow intimacy to be the heartbeat of something that's not for me. Because when you become on a path to success, you realize, damn, you're easy to walk away because you know that what you have earned when it comes to a relationship, that person's not going to hold you because that person's not going to have that power over you to make you not want to walk away. Because you're going to be like, damn, I'm successful. I work for what I earned. I work for the lessons that taught me so many things. Why would I make it hard for me not to walk away and find something better that's for me? Why not be with a person who knows communication, loyalty, who knows what equalness is, who knows what faithfulness is, who knows what going to church is, who knows what going to God is when things are hard, who knows what being organized is, who knows how to make, proper meal and food and everything like that. If it matters to you, I know as people we can make that change. A lot of times we got to take that pause. We got to take that pause in life. And not just a pause where just like we giving up, but a pause of realizing what needs to be changed. A pause to realize what steps have we missed that we were so rushing to not even care about, that we rushed so much that we missed it. And there's certain pauses that is so hard to take in life just to go back to that step that we missed. That step is way gone. Now it puts you on this confusing path where you're trying to figure out, damn, how do you try to, make up for that step that you missed? Because right now that you're feeling tired, you're feeling stressed out, you're feeling that you don't have the answers because you're allowing this one thing in a relationship, in this marriage, whatever it is that you have built with this person to hold you guys together. So ask yourself now, what is it you got to do? What are the changes that you have to face if you have not already faced them in order to develop this relationship that you want, this path that you want to be on? What is it that you learn that's going to lead you to be aligned with that path that you want to remain on? That path that you were once on, but because you missed that step that is already long gone, what is it that you're doing to get back to it? That one lesson taught me how to open my eyes clearly to what's really for me. It taught me. It gave me a lot of deep thinking. It gave me a lot of self-healing. Realizing I never woke up thinking it was over. I woke up thinking this is just the beginning. I woke up thinking I see the lesson. When you're on this path to success, you're not going to allow that one thing, intimacy, to hold a marriage, to hold a relationship together. Because when you're on that path to success, you know there's better things for you. Intimacy, the moment you allow it to be a heartbeat of the relationship, of the marriage, you realize it's going to die down sooner or later. And all that time that you've been using, all that fuel that you've been using and relying on intimacy to be the potential of future doors of opening, and you realize, damn, why are these doors not opening? Because you took too long to get on the right path and just walk away. As the new year approaches us, y'all, 2026, y'all, whether you're in a relationship, getting married, planning to get married, in the talking stage, wherever stage that you're at, intimacy, I feel like it's a bonus. But I would never, ever allow it to be the heartbeat of a marriage, of a relationship, of anything. Because you gotta realize, everybody wants to be on this path of success. Everybody wants to achieve everything in life. Nobody wants to be alone. But you gotta realize and take into consideration that there are other traits in this thing we call life that's important in a marriage and relationship, in a talking stage. In any stage that you feel like that you may be in, that you're still trying to advance forward, there are so many other important traits that matter. I know we want to put our pride high and be like, yo, we got the most money, we got the most cars, we got the biggest houses and all that. Or we can buy, this and the third just to hold our relationship. But the moment you allow intimacy, hold something that's not really meant for you, that's when you realize you're going to be destroying yourself each and every day. As we enter this new year, one thing my past relationships taught me: don't allow intimacy be the heartbeat of something that was never meant to be. It's your boy BeastModeSteven here, aka #kid from Miami. Appreciate y'all tuning in, y'all, to Friday Night Topics, y'all, episode 45, y'all. Make sure y'all tune in next week, Friday, for episode 46, y'all. And we'll definitely have one more episode left before we wrap up the New Year's, y'all. Other than that, y'all, most definitely, if you really love this episode, y'all, make sure you comment down below, hit that like button, reshare this video, y'all, and most definitely, subscribe, y'all, and turn your post notification bells on so you never miss out on a lit topic, y'all. Yes, sir. See y'all next Friday, y'all.
You are not your scars. You are not your pain. You did not deserve the hurt that comes in a relationship with that blade. I've been praying you see who you are, cause you are a star, it's all in your name. I know that it's hard, but you gonna be good. God promised me when I pray. I've been praying and talking to God. I really been